It's been 4 years and we finally know Gon's mother is Yusuke.
Dude, can you imagine if Yusuke is actually not Gon's mother, but his father? Like, Gin is Yusuke? That's a theory.
That's a theory?
Yeah, because they look so similar, they have similar powers. I don't know how that works, but you know.
Power of my ass.
Supposedly, like, they're both emitters.
Oh.
Kind of.
I guess I don't know what Ging's is, because all I know is that he stole Leorio, so I just always thought he was a special.
Right, because technically, that's not his Nen ability. That's just a special talent he has.
What? Ging, you're the most talented man in the world.
I mean, if you think about it, he is the most notorious hunter besides probably like Isaac Netero. Anyway, this is FunUntitled, where we start every podcast with an F you. I'm Minty. I'm the one who reread the last 40 chapters so that I could get ready for the new one.
And I'm Annie, and the last time I read Hunter x Hunter was 4 years ago, so I don't remember jack squatterly shit.
I don't know how long we've known of Hunter x Hunter.
I definitely think I was up and coming when the last chapter came out, so 4 years. 2018, November, the last time it updated. Now, as someone who hasn't read it for 4 years, I was very lost when I read chapter 391. So, you wanna catch me up to speed of what I need to know? Because there's now a man who has an army of pigeons, Home Alone 2 style.
And a cat spying on a lady. Anyways, let's talk about the dark content arc. Get you guys a little bit caught up with. We're not doing a weekly episode. This is only a special one-off. We'll probably do another special one-off for the chapter before the hiatus and talk between those two chapters. But let's talk about the dark content arc as we know of now. So this whole arc happened after the whole 13th president chairman election, which I don't think they elected anyone in the end.
Did they not just make the dog girl?
It might be dog girl. Yeah, because it was supposed to be Leorio, but he, resigned from, he resigned.
Get it? Bow wow.
Oh, funny. When Gon was okay, so Cheeto became the new president. And then the king of the Kaken country, his name is Ro, has decided that he wants to explore the dark continent. Which, if you don't remember, in the world of Hunter x Hunter, there is the human world, which is a bunch of countries. And then beyond that is the dark continent that has basically never been explored by humans. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Ro, I'm just gonna call him the Kaken King, because that's just what I call him.
Okay, just make sure you don't say Shaman King. If you slip up, I'm gonna get confused.
So the Kaken King decides that he wants to explore the dark continent, which is supposed to be a no-no. And he's using Beyond Netero, Isaac Netero's son, to lead the charge into the dark continent. So because this is a no-no for the human civilization, they call themselves the V5. It's a United Nations of the 5 biggest countries, but I don't really go into that too much.
Fire, air,
heart. So the V5 has told the Zodiacs that it's their job to hunt down Beyond Netero. However, Isaac Netero had a video telling the Zodiacs that it is a quote-unquote request that their mission is to explore the dark continent before Beyond. And he say quote-unquote because they made this whole thing of this is not an order. You do not have to do this. And Zodiac's no, this is clearly a mission given to us by Isaac that we cannot go against.
Okay, we all agree they're all a little horny for Isaac Netero, right?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the relationship is. All we know is that Isaac chose the 12 personally.
And they loved them so much, they all got plastic surgery to look more like the animal he affiliated them with.
Except those 2 shitling kids who didn't want to follow, so they got kicked out.
Could you imagine the cowman being a really official police officer, but then Netero was moo. And he's you know what? You're right, moo.
To be fair, those people the cowman, he just has a dress like a cow.
Fine. I don't want to be mean to Horseman. What if he was just born that way?
And Isaac was oh my god, a long face.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Shut up. So, what's so special about the Dark Continent? Because they first tell you the Dark Continent is this horrible place that no human being has ever traversed because of the horrible beings that are in it. Such as AI, which is Naniko of Alucard's, I don't know what you call it, friend, who is a gaseous life form with a codependency on desire. And we all know the rules of Nanika.
We all know how fucked up it can get, unless you're Kilia.
Actually, Kilia is the only one who really knows the great benefits of it. They talk about Bryon, a biotechnical weapon, Hap, a beast that keeps people as pets, Felhel, which is a twin snake that makes people homicidal, and Zombie, the immortality disease, which basically turns people into zombies.
Zombie!
However, the reason that humanity even knows about these 5 horrors is because within the 5 horrors territories, each one has like something that would greatly benefit mankind. I think the one that made the most sense was the one called Unmanned Rock, which is basically like a little ore can generate 20,000 watts of electricity when placed in water and just be like a source of clean energy. The other ones were much more vague, like an herb that can cure disease. Nitro rice was actually the secret to longevity. And
God, Hunter x Hunter. Toriko has stolen so much from you.
yeah, if you ever see Toriko, you get to Gourmet World. Holy shit. I like that Toriko does expand on it though, but I'm interested to see how Hunter x Hunter would actually expand on this topic that clearly they probably thought of first. I mean, I don't know if Hunter x Hunter has an inspiration from somewhere, but it's clear that Toriko came after Hunter x Hunter. So going back to what we talked about, the two shitling kids that didn't follow the Zodiac rules. Harrison and Ging, they both lead the Zodiacs because
They believe in gay rights and that Leo Pika should be in the Zodiac.
to be honest, I kind of get why people ship Partisan and Ging, like a little, like I don't, but I kind of get it, that real like love-hate relationship shit. But no, they leave because they actually want to travel with Beyond to the Dark Continent, and I don't think they can do that as Zodiac members, especially because that's a lot of red tape there. And nothing I think is that important to know about Partisan and Ging joining Beyond. Partisan has 5,000 Chimera Ant soldiers. I don't know what he's gonna do with that, but it's there. And then, like I said, we know enough Ging's like quote-unquote talent, not only to copy any punching abilities like he said he can do, but also I feel like to copy the perceived abilities he thinks that puncher has. Because Leorio only did the remote punch, but then like Ging did other things that he thinks Leorio can do. So it's like even more OP.
One day Ging is going to steal rock, paper, scissors and we have to watch him.
Technically, yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you don't remember, Gon doesn't have his Nen abilities. It was the consequence for gaining all those powers to kill the cat Chimera Ant. That's name escaping me right now.
Oh god, that's like the only popular Chimera Ant too.
Right? Like, because I remember Meruem. And shit.
It's fine, kitty boy.
You understand what I'm getting at. We are assuming you guys have seen Hunter x Hunter. We're not doing anything new.
We're just catching you up with the manga because it's been 4 years, but you should watch the anime.
Yeah, and it's a complex story. So, now that Partisan and Ging has joined Beyond, they had to get a new rat and boar. The first they chose was Leorio to be the new boar because he is now the most famous Hunter x Hunter as of right now because he punched Ging, the most notorious hunter, and nobody liked him. And through his recommendation, they asked Kurapika to be the new rat. Kurapika has only one goal, right? To get the Scarlet Eyes. However, the Zodiacs understand that one of the princes of Kakin King has what seems like the rest of the Scarlet Eyes that Kurapika is looking for. So once Kurapika gets these eyes, he's good, I guess. Not sure what he's gonna do after this. Oh, going back a little bit, I forgot to mention that there's another reason why the human world knows about the Dark Continent, and that it's because there's a book called Journey to the New World. There's an East and West edition. Ging is the one that brings this up, and the human world has the East edition. The West edition has never been found, and I think Ging's leading theory is that the West edition is still being written, and the author is Dawn Freese.
Dawn?
Well, same last name, so the relationship we don't know.
The mom, Yusuke's writing this.
I swear to God, if Yusuke actually, because why? Okay, the reason we keep talking about Yusuke is because if you don't know, he was on the chapter cover, which is actually a really nice chapter cover. So anyway, so Beyond's team is actually going to the Dark Continent without Beyond because Beyond gave himself up to the Zodiacs. I think there was a reasoning, but it's one of those long writings that kind of glide over because it's very confusing.
He did it for the shits and giggles because he knows it's gonna be cool later on.
If you had to read again what I had to read, there's no laughing matter in this.
Beyond gave himself up for a very specific reason that no one knows except him.
So I think one thing I do have to bring up, because I'm not sure what role this is playing, they have a theory that like somebody is working for Beyond and probably one of the Zodiacs, and they find out that it's Monkey.
Oh god, Monkey!
But they haven't done anything with this information yet, so that's just something to keep in mind as you keep reading, that the Monkey is working with Beyond.
So, I think this is the last time we really mentioned the Zodiac. So, long story short, Zodiac, Isaac Newton, I forget what his name.
Netero!
Netero wants them to travel the Dark Continent, but the V5 is like, you gotta stop people from traveling the Dark Continent. And the Zodiac is like, well, we got the boy, the Beyond meat. I guess we're still going to the Dark Continent. Maybe we'll do something cool one day and not just stand here. The Zodiacs are so underutilized.
I am hoping that they get used more once they actually reach the Dark Continent, but who knows, right?
Now, do we ship Beyond and Monkey?
No, God. We've not even seen them talk. Okay, so here comes, I think, the majority of this Dark Continent arc is that the Kakin King has 14 children, and they're all called princes regardless of genders, and he has 8 queens. The 14 princes are all competing in a succession battle where only one can survive and become the next king. So Kurapika gets hired by the 8th queen to protect the 14th prince. It's Queen Oito and Prince Wobble.
Wobble.
Wobble's a girl, so...
I didn't say it was a he pronoun.
No, but I always forget that. And always like, my little baby girl. And I was like, girl. All right, Wobble.
Wobble.
And I believe each queen is actually named after the number, but based on like a different country.
That's funny.
Kind of. Okay, guess I gotta go through each prince.
Well, first I would like to talk about the fact that each prince, I think they touched a urn and got nen abilities.
Okay, the seed urn ceremony, each prince had to like stick their hand in like a jar, kind of like what was that Nicolas Cage movie called? Search for the National Treasure.
National Treasure.
Is that no like verb?
No.
Alright, whatever. They stick their hand in, which gives each of them a guardian Nen beast. What's interesting is that there's like these weird rules. Like the Nen beasts cannot attack each other or the princes themselves.
Did we put Wobble in there? Just put the entire arm in there?
I don't know what happened, but Wobble supposedly does do it.
Does Wobble have a nen beast?
Not that we have seen.
Okay. What if Kurapika is the nen beast and the real Kurapika is like 5 miles away?
To be fair, every time Queen Oito like doesn't trust Kurapika, Wobble's like, I trust him.
With my little baby voice, that sounds just like Alec Baldwin.
Oh, no, that's no boss baby.
Is the baby not employing Kurapika?
I guess. Okay, so let's go each one very briefly. First Prince Benjamin. He's got a beast that looks like a penis bat. All the Nen beasts either looks like a penis or a nipple.
Oh, a giant rat.
That's true. I call that a nipple. Anyways, to be honest, most of these Nen beasts don't really do anything. Actually, no, that's not true. Okay. He's the firstborn. He has a Nen ability in which he can gain the abilities of Nen users of his men after they die, which is an OP power, if you ask me.
Well, you gotta find people that actually like you. Like, I'm sure the 4th prince couldn't have this Nen ability and use it.
Sure, but like going into the position that he's in, because he is the head of like the Royal National Guard, he gotta put himself in a position where he can get a lot of Nen abilities when they are in a high mortality rate job.
Maybe it's like one of those Nen things he developed after, like, you know, the specialist.
That's what I mean, man.
Well, like, you know how to make the chains, Kurapika need to lick the chain? What did Benjamin do? Did he lick his man?
Supposedly, Nen, if you just wish for it, it comes true. That's how your abilities come forward.
So you're telling me Kilia didn't have to zap himself with a taser?
It might depend on what type you are, but maybe not, honestly.
Okay, so that's the first prince, Benjamin.
So he's like the insanely powerful one. The second prince, Camilla, her Nen beast looks like a nipple tree, and she has Cat's name, which is a giant cat that when she gets killed, the cat will take the body and life force of the killer, give it back to Camilla, and revive her.
Does she look like the killer because she took the body?
No, it's still her body. That does raise the question that if she was burned to death, what would happen? I think she might come back to life as ashes.
Just like the majestic phoenix.
Then third prince, Zhang Lei.
Oh, does the nipple tree do anything?
If they do something, I will let you know.
Okay.
I think they say it can manipulate, but it doesn't do anything.
I'd do anything for the titty.
Like, I think like 3 of the NBs, they're like, okay, here's a narration box of what it does, but we're not gonna do anything. I'm like, then why tell me? Third prince, Zhang Lei, it's a giant sun that spits out coins. What they believe is that the coins will do nothing until he becomes king, because it matches his personality of planning things for when he becomes king. He's not really planning things now, he's more like, he's also might be a love child.
Illegitimate?
Yeah. He might be the king's half-brother's kid because he called him father. And it's like, how does that affect the succession battle? Why did the seed urn ceremony still work, even though he's not a legitimate kid? But maybe the seed urn just can't figure out legitimacy.
You told me that if there was an illegitimate child, they would get 2 razor blades and slash the motherfucking baby.
See, I think they don't know.
Oh, okay.
Fourth prince, who is the most important one, but there's no way I can pronounce his name.
Tupperware.
No, that's the 5th one. Serenich? I don't know how to pronounce it. He has an NB's, horse with the head of a woman and 2 big boobies.
Giant bazongas. Now, this is the guy with all the Kurapika eyes, right?
Yes. And the horse lady will attack you if you lie to her. Or him, I guess. But it gives you like 1 strike and then 2 strikes you out. Then he has the Nen ability, because part of his thing is that he learns Nen during this whole time, is that he can see a parallel future. So from what I can gather is that he can see 10 seconds into the future. And then once he's done viewing the future, it happens. The people who are in the vision will still do as what was seen within the vision, but he can change it. So that once those real 10 seconds are up, it follows what he actually did and not what they perceive he did, if that makes sense.
So, let me get this straight. So, with his Nen ability, he sees into the future, and while everyone else is kind of stuck in the past, he's currently making his own future, and then eventually everyone else will catch up to his world.
In a sense, yeah. I wouldn't think of it as like past or future. I almost kind of think of it as an illusion.
Oh.
Because like they see what they see, but once those 10 seconds are up, they're back to a reality.
So it's kind of like if he's standing in A, everyone sees him in A, and in 10 seconds, all of a sudden he's in B.
Right.
Okay, complicated.
Very.
What kind of Nen is that? Emitter?
I believe he's a specialist.
Okay, gotcha. Obviously, if you're not in one of the categories.
Right. Okay, I think Fifth Prince,
Tupperware.
or Tubepa. No.
Okay.
I think she and Zhang Lei are some of the few princes that want to figure out like a peaceful way of becoming king, in which I mean like they don't plan to kill all their siblings. They basically kind of want to be king and then pardon, especially the younger ones.
Wobble.
Because I think only really Prince 1 to 5 is truly in the race to become king. Everyone else is kind of just like
Lateral damage.
basically.
Like, I'm sorry the king couldn't keep his in his pants after year 5. Is the king dead? Is that why there's a succession battle?
No, actually. That's a good question. Why they decide to do this now.
He just thought it was a Liddy time right now.
Maybe. Oh, what?
Liddy.
As long as he doesn't say titty.
No.
She basically has a big lizard on wheels that can produce drugs, but she doesn't play a big role.
I just imagine getting drugs from a lizard in a wheelchair. Hey, you want some drugs? A little pouch in the back of my wheelchair.
More like a pedal van.
Oh no.
Anyways, then the sixth prince, Tyson. She's
So
just like,
chicken brand?
you know, it's a little weird. But she's like one of those like love girls who like, I don't know, like boy bands and whatnot. Like she picks pretty people to be her men. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Hunter friends have joined Kurapika to be hired by the princess to help, I guess to help Kurapika. I'm not sure if that's the main. I think Kurapika hired them more specifically.
Kurapika hired Bisky, Ninja Hanzo.
Basho the poet man.
Hey, Basho! Didn't think I'll see you again.
Melody, his like friend, part of the Nostrade family, and his mentor.
Oh, him!
Yeah, and I only bring this up because the mentor is hired by Tyson.
Well, I just saw a bug fly onto our fly trap and then fly off, so we really have to replace that.
She has a heart-shaped Nen beast that shoots out. You know Lucy from Disenchantment?
Yeah.
They kind of look like that, except with one eye and no wing.
As far as I know, Lucy only has one eye.
You gotta watch that show, man.
Does he not just have one eye in the side profile?
Yeah, but he has two eyes in total.
Well, he flips around. He's like a flounder. No, a flounder has two eyes on one side.
Oh, yeah.
So what do they, Lucy do?
Oh, so when they attach to people, it gives them happiness based on how much they read her book. Propaganda, man.
Kind of weird. So Kurapika's teacher who taught him the chain is a daddy?
Moving
But
on.
it's by the hot team.
Seventh Prince has a giant centipede that sets traps, and Basho is working for him. Literally, all they do is get high. They talk about getting high.
My man.
It's just like, oh, what was the seventh prince doing? You know, legal drugs. Eighth prince, Saleh. He has a big ball with a mouth on it that secretes smoke. And the more smoke you breathe, the more you like him. Seems kind of fucked up.
Seems like in your notes, there's some people who didn't like him.
So he is the second prince to be killed. He got killed by Benjamin's men. There's this one Benjamin man, or, you know, like his soldier, who basically he has to figure out as much as he can about his target, and then he'll create a Nen beast that can kill the target, or at least do something to weaken them.
That sounds cool.
It is, but it's also a little annoying reading it. Because he used his Nen beast to eat Saleh's Nen beast, and then another guy had to come in and kill him.
Like a spicy meatballer.
Like a fat, spicy meatball. So he used the second one to be dead. Ninth Prince, Halkenberg, he's probably the one who's very actively trying to stop the succession battle. He wants peace. He wants to avoid conflict. He almost killed himself so he could get out of the battle. battle, but his Nen beast wouldn't let him, which is basically like this cyclops bird demon without a beak.
That's my greatest fear, toucans without a beak.
It is scary looking. So his Nen beast gives him the abilities that, like, if he has a group of people who are on the same wavelength as him, he can shoot a arrow that cannot be defended against. And what happens is that one of his men will go into the body of the one who got shot. And the Nen ability is stronger the more on the same wavelength they're on.
So he could technically like shoot one of his men into like Benjamin.
Technically, yes. But I think it's an incredibly big setup.
Gotta make a whole pentagram.
Yeah. Then we go to 10th and 11th Prince, Prince Kacho and Prince Fugetsu. They're the twins. They're the ones who tried to escape the ship so that they no longer had to do the succession battle because they didn't want to die. And another reason why it's important to talk about these two is that apparently both the Nen beasts work with each other. Prince Fugetsu could create a door that allows them to travel. So Fugetsu can make the door to go somewhere. Kacho makes the door to go back somewhere.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. However, trying to escape the ship means death. Prince Kacho ended up dying. However, Prince Fugetsu doesn't know that Kacho died because Kacho's Nen beast is a formless being that when one of them dies, they take on the form of the one who died to accompany the one who's still alive. So as far as anyone knows, Fugetsu and Kacho are both alive even though Kacho's actually dead.
But people who can't see Nen, can they see the Nen beast looking like Kacho?
We haven't gotten that far, but I would assume so.
Okay.
12th Prince Momose and 13th Prince Maraya kind of go in hand together as well. They're both biological siblings. Momose was the first to die. I'm not exactly sure why she was the first to die in terms of lot, because it was Sale's mom who killed her, well, one of her men. But I think from a writing standpoint, it was important because there is a scene where you see that the Kakin King put her in a coffin in a very strange room that kind of looks like Greed Island when in the entrance or exit area. I think that more of the exit when they meet that girl. So it's like black with white angular lines in it, and it says that her death was important for the Kakin country. So another thing to keep in mind, that there's something going on when 13 of them are dead, and I don't think it's gonna be a possibility for them to not have just only one survivor.
You think that king was like, I gotta make more kids? And the wife was like, I'm not giving you any more kids. I gotta find another wife. Like, it's very important I have 13 kids.
It does make you wonder though, right? Because some of them have like one kid, and like the second queen has 4 kids.
And she said, nah, my snatch is already stretched out.
Yeah, Camilla's like, I don't want no more fucking kids coming out of you. I think Camilla's very controlling of the mom.
Okay.
Momose had an ability in which a giant mouse created smaller beings that caused people to go on a killing spree, and then eventually, you'd want to try to kill them. But she was killed, and that scared Mariam, who had like a very dragon-like Nen beast that would teleport their room into like a parallel dimension where like the room still existed. They were just somewhere else that looked exactly like the room. So people could leave, but they could not come in.
Oh.
And Prince Wobble, because Prince Wobble is the youngest, Kurapika's strategy so that way people don't attack Wobble is to teach people Nen. By having more people know about Nen, because very few people know. By having more people know Nen, it creates a stalemate where like they can't attack Orito and Kurapika because they need to learn Nen, and it kind of boosts them up. So that way they, I guess, have a stronger army force.
Okay, so that's all 13 shitlings.
14, excuse you. Do not count out Prince Wobble. The last thing to explain before we go on to the chapter, I know it's a long episode, but bear with me here, is that before this whole thing happened, there is a battle at the Heavens Arena between Floor Master Hisoka and Challenger Kurolo. When you first read it, it's very confusing, but the second time I read it, I understood it more, and don't get me wrong, it's still confusing, but if you just stick with the facts, actually fairly easy to understand.
And if you want the facts, please go to our sponsor, Carfax.
As a fox mascot.
And he won't be devious at all.
So, I won't go into the details of this match. It's a lot. It's basically Kurolo constantly changing between 5 different skills that he has. 4 of them is copied from other people, 2 of them being his own men. But Kurolo kills Hisoka. Like, he annihilated Hisoka and won. So Hisoka is dead. But as a last-ditch effort, he made a condition upon himself to wish for the bungee gum to start up his heart and lungs again. So Hisoka's back to life. And he's like, well, I'm gonna kill all the spiders now.
And that way he won't have any abilities to copy.
Right. So the idea is that if he has no abilities to copy, or at least the numbers of abilities within his book is less, he'll have a better chance of defeating Crollo. So Crollo's pissed. And I'm not sure how they know this, but Crollo and the Phantom Troupe is on the ship because they want to kill Hisoka, who they believe is on the ship.
Do we know he's on the ship?
We've never seen him and there's never been proof, so I don't know why they think he's on the ship.
He's just chilling with Gon wherever he is. Like, my face is so fucked up, my dude.
He's actually on Whale Island. They got the wrong whale, I guess, thing. So, the Phantom Troupe, they're basically laymen, right? They're not really that special in comparison to the other people who are on the ship, like the 14 princes. So, they have to navigate on the bottom tier with everybody else.
So if you saw the Titanic, you have the upper deck where the rich people are, and then the lower deck where all the poor people.
You know exactly.
Yeah, that's where the Phantom Troupe is. They're with Jack.
But to navigate around this area, because there's 5 tiers, they're on the 5th one. In order to go from between tiers 3 and 5, they have to go through the Mafia, who's in control of everything.
That's right, y'all. The Mafia is on this shit.
There are 3 mafias. 2 of them are bossed by a half-brother of the Kaken King. One of them is, oh my god, there's so much to explain, is manned by the
illegitimate child?
Yes, of the king. The Mafia does not like the Phantom Troupe being there. The Phantom Troupe is an incredibly powerful organization that follows no rules, and they don't like this because they're basically a flammable variant that could go off at any moment. Okay, one of the mafias is helping the Phantom Troupe find Hisoka, so that way the Phantom Troupe can kill Hisoka and potentially leave the ship. Although they're not going to leave because they also want to rob the ship once they kill Hisoka.
It'd be like that.
I'm not exactly sure what the second Mafia family is doing, but the third one that is headed by the illegitimate daughter, I think she's just trying to create chaos. So what she has is that, and this is where we're going into the chapter 391. Her men have levels. They start off at level 1. The more people they kill, the more levels they gain. Once they reach level 20, they get a Nen ability. So those 3 men who attack that underboss are all her men, and they get 10 points if they kill someone with a Nen ability, as you just saw.
You get 50 points for killing a prince, right?
Yeah, but that's never gonna happen.
But if you reach 100 points, then you get the same ability as the girl.
Yes, which is that you can basically start your own cult of people who get to start at level 1 and kill for you. I'm not exactly sure what she gains from them leveling up.
Feels kind of like a pyramid scheme.
It kind of does. So that's basically it, I think. I think if you follow us on Twitter and Instagram, we'll do chapter react arts, and I'll try to put in the description any background information I had to tell Annie while reading. I'll try to put in that description as well to help fill in the holes that wasn't filled in through your memory or this episode.
Okay, first of all, this is the most important question, IMO. Did you like the chapter?
I thought it was a cool ability because that guy's ability is that he can turn inanimate objects into animals but retaining the original inanimate object's function. I think it was cool. It had a good fight scene. You get to see new Nen abilities. It's kind of continuing the story because I am hoping that coming back from a hiatus, he's gonna bring back something big, and I hope that big thing is Hisoka.
Yeah, I'm shocked that you gone for 4 years and you come back and none of the main characters are in it.
I guess it's hard because that's where you left off. So I'm excited for what this chapter has to bring. The Mafia is the thing I least understand after rereading this whole thing, but I'm excited to know what they do and how they play a role because there's so many levels and layers to Hunter x Hunter.
So with that, we will depart. Sure. That's the opening for Hunter x Hunter. I didn't know how to say that right. We're leaving. Bye.